Hi guys, this is Emil with coolpower.com and today we'll take a look at the Cammy IP camera recording and monitoring solution. Cammy is a monitoring solution which allows users to keep an eye on their businesses, homes, kids, pets, you name it. Cammy allows you to hook up as many cameras as you need, store your historical footage on their cloud service, easily search by date and time recorded events in case of need, as well as fully online management of your recording devices and recorded footage. The Cammy system includes free iPhone and Android apps that allow you easy setup of the system, manage your camera and check out the recorded files, cloud storage where all your files are securely stored, as well as an online browser application if you prefer it over the smartphone apps. I'll walk you through it in a couple of moments. In order to use Cammy, you'll need to get and hook up at least one IP camera. Check the link in the post on coolpal.com for an Amazon selection of the IP cameras starting as low as $30 US. Oh, and did I already mention the Cammy recording and cloud storage is free? If not, let me say it again. The Cammy recording and cloud storage is free, guys. So check out this tutorial and get one account right away. For the initial setup, we'll plug in the cable into the camera and the wireless router. As I said, we just need to do this once. As you see on the router, I have four output available slots. I will take any of them. I will just grab the first one, but you can plug it in into each one of them. And now we'll fire up the app in order to show you how the auto setup works. Okay, let's hit the road and let me show you how easy this Cammy auto setup works. For this review, I'm using a D-Link DCS 930L model IP camera. It's one of the cheapest cameras around. You can get one from Amazon for about 30-40 bucks, not more than that. I have my D-Link wireless router. You can match it up with any wireless router. Don't worry about it. I have an Android smartphone and I have a network cable. Now, the network cable usually comes with the IP camera. In case they don't give you a network cable, simply grab any network cable you have around. If not, just run to the department store and buy one of the cheapest cables you find. We'll just need this for about 1 or 2 minutes during the initial setup. After that, once the IP camera is configured to work in wireless mode, you'll no longer need this cable. Okay guys, I took a little break here to push the wireless modem and the camera out of the way as we no longer need them. I also hooked up my phone to my screen so I get a better chance in recording how exactly the auto setup function of the Cammy works and to help you setting up your own camera with the application. Okay, so let's fire up the application. We'll click Start using Cammy. Now on this screen you'll have to enter your email address associated to the Cammy.com account. If you don't have a Cammy.com account, simply enter the email address you'd like to be hooked up with your account and then click on Go. Now on this screen, if you don't already have an account with Cammy.com, simply enter the password you'd like to have on your account. Please choose a reasonable password as these are the credentials you will also use when with the online browser application if you want to manage your cameras and your recorded footage online. So let's enter the password here. Now on this screen usually you will see all your cameras listed one below the other and also you'll see their status, but now as we have no cameras in the account we'll have to set up one first. Before we go further with the setup, there are three things you have to make sure. Now first is that the camera has to be powered on. The second is that the camera has to be hooked up to the router via the Ethernet cable. And the third one is that the camera has to be well connected to the router, and you can see this by checking if there's a green LED lit on the front of the camera. If the LED is red, wait another couple of seconds or up to 1 minute until the connection it's made, so you can go further with the setup. Now the application is looking for all the device hooked up to the router. In my case, I find the camera here. In other devices, this is the IP camera I'm going to set up in a couple of minutes. So I'm just going to select it and go further. Now this is an important screen, and you will want to make sure that the MAC address right here is matching 100% the one on the back label of your camera. If you check the back label of your camera, you see a label with a bunch of numbers. Well, one of them is titled MAC ID. That MAC ID has to match 100% this number here. This is to make sure that you're setting up the right camera to your account. Now we'll have to name the camera. It's a very useful feature, as if you have multiple cameras here, you wanna be able to spot which camera is recording what exactly. In my case, as I'm only setting up one camera, I'll simply name it 1 and should do the job. Okay, now the camera is looking for our location. That's a bit rough in my case because my GPS is turned off, so just skip further. Now we have to enter the camera's credentials. Normally 95% of the cameras come up with blank credentials, meaning the username is admin and the password it's a blank field. But if your camera is part of those 5% cameras on the market that come with the credentials already set up, please check your documents, the documents that came with the camera, and surely you'll have the right username and password to use. In my case, my camera is part of 95% cameras that don't need credentials on the screen, so I'll simply go on with the setup. Now in this field we have to enter the credentials for the Wi-Fi network. My Wi-Fi is called virus_exe. Simply write in the Wi-Fi name as it's titled, and on the second field simply put in the password. And then we go further with, I would choose to go with Wi-Fi. If you don't enable Wi-Fi, then you can go without the Wi-Fi, but that's an extra hassle as you'll always have to have the camera connected to the router by wire. So I'll set it up with Wi-Fi. Now there's a bunch of settings being configured in the back end. And this is almost in. Now the application still runs some tests on the camera to see the exact set of features that came with the camera, or simply skip for the moment. And we are well set up. Now this is the camera. For the moment I'll pause the video as it will take another 1 minute or 2 minutes until the exact set of feature is transferred, and also before we get to have some live footage from the camera. So I'll pause the video and I'll be back in a couple of seconds to show you how the application works. Okay, so now let's take a look at how the application works inside. The application is very simple, it's very intuitive. There's not a lot of features or settings to set up after the initial setup. So here, right here, we have this little menu. If we click on it, we have a couple of features. We can add a new camera, search for events, a little bit of help here in the introduction, send some feedback to the company, and sign out. Other than that, we have the first screen right here as you log in, where all your cameras are listed. If you click on a particular camera, you will right away have the last footage recorded. As you see, my camera is on a table in the back in the living room here, so it's simply recorded the table. You can sync the camera if you want to sync it manually. You can also look for particular events. Here you can enter the camera. If you have multiple cameras, you can choose on which camera you want to look over, put in the date a couple of minutes before, a couple of minutes later, and you click search. Other than that, if you want to enter in, if you wanna take a look and watch some of your footage, simply select it from the menu here. Let's say we grab this one, and as you see, it's at 2 minutes and 55 seconds. No, it's actually at 2 o'clock, 2:57 p.m. and it simply plays. Now, as you see, some of the recordings are shorter, some of them are longer. Like this one here is 3 seconds, this one here is 2 seconds, this one here is 1 minute and 42 seconds. This is because the camera has motion detection. So basically, right here in this spot of 3 minutes, it only recorded 3 seconds because there was no movement in the camera. So if you leave the camera on during the night, as I did last night, I ended up with 2 recordings when the cat passed in front of the camera. Other than that, there was nothing. So this is an interesting feature because first of all, it saves bandwidth without having to upload and download videos all the time. And second of all, it makes your job a lot easier when you're searching for some kind of events in your recorded video. Imagine how it would be to spot a single event in a 24 or 48 hours time frame. But given the motion detection feature, then the camera only records when actually something happens in the room or in the piece that you're recording, which is very interesting. Now, let me walk you through for a couple of seconds through the online application. So if you go on Cammy.com, click Launch App on the top of the screen, and okay, let's do it again because I was already signed in. So I go to Cammy.com, launch application, and test.coolpal.com, the password. And here we have the exactly same setup in the little menu with the couple of options of what we can do. Have the camera, have the recorded footage. As you see, what I was saying a couple of like a minute ago is that some recording are 3 minutes, some recording 2 minutes, some recording 4 minutes. So it's basically due to the motion detection. Obviously, if you want to erase a recording, you just go into it, and here you can play it. As you see, it's recorded the empty table, or you can erase it, or you can even go further and play it in full screen. So it makes pretty much the tour of the application. This concludes our Cammy IP recording system review. If you watch this video on youtube.com, you find links to the coolpal.com product review, including pictures and additional information in the description box below. If you watch this on coolpal.com, hit the links in the article and sign up for the free service of Cammy. By now you should have a subscribe button on the screen. Go ahead and click it to be updated every time we release a new video. I thank you very much for being a coolpal.com reader. Give us a like, follow us on Twitter, Pinterest or Google Plus to stay close as we share cool gadgets and gear every day. Thank you guys. Have a nice day.